Yo, what's up guys on YouTube? I'm Conni, I'm back with another video. And don't you like it how I'm just casually segueing from healthy lifestyle to traveling as a queer woman to life coaching? Because that's what we're talking about today. I get a lot of emails and comments from people asking me how to find a life coach and if I can help them or do I have any recommendations and all these things. So I thought I need to make a video about this just to get it out there, because the matter of the fact is, or the fact of the matter, either way, I've been working with life coaches for probably about 3 or 4 years now. My experience has been absolutely awesome. Working with life coaches has completely changed my life. Wow, I mean, they've really helped me on my path and through all these processes that I've been going through these last few years, and it has been a pretty rocky road, you know? And so when I discovered life coaching away from therapy, and I will briefly talk about the differences in a bit. When I discovered life coaching for myself, I was like, wow, so this whole new world opened up as to how I could work my shit out and find clarity and work on my beliefs. I really want to share the gift of life coaching because it's helped me so much. And I really hope that maybe you will get inspired too and go out to find a life coach. I've probably worked with about 4 or 5 life coaches in the past 3 or 4 years. Right now, the coach that I'm working with, we've been working together for more than a year now, which I'm really proud of because it's just been awesome. Because now she knows me so well, and I've been really enjoying having this long-term relationship with my coach. She's actually also a therapist, which for me is a perfect combination, because that way, you know, she uses tools from being a life coach, but also goes with me a little bit deeper into, you know, stuff that therapists do. So for me, that's a great combination, but I've also worked purely with life coaches, and that has also been amazing. In the end, I believe a life coach is someone that helps you find clarity. They help you create a vision for your life, and they help you find a path to kind of step-by-step process the tools, whatever it is that you need to get to where you want to get to. They help you achieve that. You work a lot on your habits and beliefs, and it's quite practical in its approach. I personally have weekly or bi-weekly sessions, so it's really about having regular either calls, I do it through Skype because I travel so much, or in-person sessions, whichever you prefer really. Now, what's the difference between life coaching and therapy? Life coaching is more about the present and the future. It's more results oriented. It can be short to midterm. You know, people work with life coaches only for a few sessions or for 3 months or 6 months, are usually those sort of retainers. Whereas therapy is really a lot more about the past. It's about resolving old trauma, maybe from childhood, dealing with depression, other mental issues or emotional issues that we might have. It's also set out a bit more long-term, so generally you would work with a therapist for, you know, a year or 2 or 3 or 5, for however long. I personally believe in the power of both, but I had a lot of not so satisfying experiences with therapy in the past. And then discovering life coaching, for me, just that pragmatic approach to solving my problems and achieving the goals that I wanted to reach, has been just a lot more fruitful. I guess it just resonated more with me, also how life coaches work. And I think a lot of therapists are very old school, well, at least the ones I've worked with. I'm sure there's amazing therapists out there, so don't get me wrong. And there is definitely a place for therapy, and I believe that you really need to figure out whether life coaching is right for you, or whether maybe you should actually go down and find a counselor or a therapist. Why would you want to get a life coach? There's actually a lot of reasons of why you would want to get a life coach, and for me it was a lot about finding my truth, finding my authentic path in life. A lot of people, they work with life coaches because they want to figure out what their passions are, what their calling is in life. Maybe they want guidance on their career path. maybe they have issues with their finances and have goals there, want to achieve independence in that way. Maybe they have relationship goals or maybe relationship issues. Maybe they have any sort of other patterns with their health maybe, or anything where you're like, man, I really want to change something about this. By committing to working with a life coach, you're committing to yourself to making that change or that transformation happen. And I believe a life coach is also really awesome, especially for people that are going through transformative processes in their lives, as a lot of us are, you know, because especially I think for me, it started as I was approaching my late 20s. Now I'm in my early to mid 30s, and there's just so much happening as we come out of our 20s. So having someone right there on your sideline, someone like a support network to help you through some really tough times that are just confusing and where you just really need someone to find clarity with and to work through stuff. I find a life coach can just be of so much value as we go through these processes. A coach is really someone, and if you compare it to a coach in sports, for example, like football or baseball, basketball, whatever, they're there to guide you and hold you accountable on your path to reach certain goals or whatever it is that you need to figure out in life. And I believe accountability and guidance is such an important aspect, because we don't need to do everything on our own, and our friends or our family, they can help us out definitely to a certain extent and be there for us in that way. But having someone professional in your life that is really just 100% committed to helping you on your path to becoming who you were all along, wow, it's so amazing and so beautiful. A coach will give you maybe new perspectives. They will ask you a lot of questions that might stretch your comfort zone, or generally maybe challenge a lot of your limiting beliefs and your habits. And sometimes they can see what you can't see. By working with a life coach, you can really achieve results much quicker as if you were doing it on your own. For me, having a life coach, it really propelled my personal growth like crazy, seriously. It's been such an integral part of my personal development. I can't even put it into words because it's been such a game changer and mind-blowing. And also, I know so many really awesome people who are so successful, or, you know, if you look around, any athlete, any super successful business person, entrepreneur, whoever is really going out there to change the world, most of these people have coaches. They might have a life coach, a fitness, health coach, a business coach, whatever it is, but it's awesome to have someone there to support you through life. And in the end, it's really not an expense. Like, I don't look at the money that I pay for my life coach as an expense. It's money that I'm spending. It's an investment. It's an investment in myself. It's an investment in my business, in my life, in my relationships, it's an investment in my happiness, in my growth, and I couldn't be happier to invest into something that is so sustainable and long-lasting as life coaching has been for me personally. One big question is for many people, and maybe also for you, is how do I find the right life coach? And that's a very valid question to ask, because there's a lot of them out there. Or maybe you don't even have access to any of life coaches, you don't even know where to look. I believe in the saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And for me, it was really, I was opening myself up to the possibility of finding a life coach back then, and then they just appeared. So every life coach that has come into my life has somehow appeared. I never had to go out and look for them. I either found their website, or they were recommended to me, or I saw someone posting something on Facebook about them and I hunted them down. So it's usually happened like that. It was never that I was sitting here thinking, okay, I'm gonna go and look for a life coach now. And for me, the saying has been very true. I was super ready, and every time that I felt like I needed support in my life, a life coach appeared in one way or another. Or maybe not a life coach appeared, but maybe some other person that was supporting my growth or holding space for me on my path through a process appeared in my life. So it's a lot of times it's just about manifesting it in your meditations, or just opening yourself up consciously and becoming aware of your desire to have the support and to find a life coach or maybe a mentor, whoever else it is, maybe an energy healer or something. And I believe that's the first step to finding the right person and drawing them kind of into your life, so to speak. One advice I can definitely give you is, while you open yourself up, go out there and consume content in the way that you're looking for coaching. So, you know, go out and read blogs or YouTube about finding your path or living your calling or whatever it is that you are wanting to work on. And once you dive into that, you get into that sort of rabbit hole, and then, you know, you consume that sort of content, and you will see that a lot of people that produce that content or make these videos are indeed life coaches. And then you go to their website and you look, oh, it says work with me or coaching or whatever, and then you get in touch and you ask them. I get a lot of people send me emails asking me if I do coaching, and I have to say, no, I don't do it, because I have done a bit of coaching in the past, but I realized that I'm not a one-on-one sort of person when it comes to living out my calling. I'm more of a one-to-many person, and I want to reach many people. And as much as I coach, you know, my friends or whoever needs my support, I have not been given that calling to be a life coach, so to say. Does that make sense? All right. I also did a little bit of research and have come across, for this video actually, and I've come across a few like databases or websites where you can search for coaches, and one is called Coachimo. I'm gonna have to check out what I wrote down. Coachimo, Life Coach Spotter, and Nuomi. I will also put all the links below the video in the description box. A little bit about the process once you have found someone and you've gotten in touch with them about coaching. Usually they offer free calls or like a get to know session or intro session or something of like maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And those are really awesome because it's really about gauging the chemistry and the connection between you and the life coach, and really seeing if, you know, you feel like you want to work with them. I would always want to have a Skype call first, just, you know, and even if it's just for 10 minutes, just to see like what's the energy like between me and my life coach. And usually I know pretty quickly. I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's a definite, that's a hell yeah. You need to feel that hell yeah, that when your intuition tells you, yep, that's my person. There has been a lot of discussion about, you know, anybody can be a life coach these days and you don't even need a training or a certification. Well, my take on that is, I don't think certification trainings are bad at all. I think they can be very helpful to teach people certain tools for their life coaching. I don't think they're necessary though. For me, what's way more important is that they have experience in the area that I need coaching on. So for example, let's say I want to work on relationship stuff, and I would like to work with someone who's been through relationship shit herself or himself, because I need my coach to be able to relate to what I'm going through, all the issues that I'm experiencing and the challenges. Whereas if someone, maybe that coach has been married happily for a very long time, has never gone through any relationship issues, has never had their heart broken, I'm really not sure I could connect to that, if you know what I mean. Like a friend of mine, she's a life and love coach, and she coaches women through breakups. She was in a 10-year relationship, then had a very painful breakup, and she knows what it's like to go through that. And she knows how excruciating the pain is. So she then chose to share this, what she learned. She chose to share that with her clients and to help them go through exactly what she's experienced. And I believe that's really powerful. And I don't think a certification that way is absolutely necessary. It's definitely helpful. It's really more about the experience in the field of where you need coaching, and also about the relatability, you know? So yeah, I never asked my life coach that I worked with whether, you know, what sort of training they had or whatever. It was either working out or it wasn't working out for me, so. And lastly, in terms of pricing, it can be all over the place, to be honest, but a good guidance is maybe $100 to $150 or $200 for one session. Usually coaches offer different packages from like, you know, maybe just 1 call to 3 calls to, you know, 6 calls, or maybe in terms of a 3 months package, 6 months package, or a 1 year package. And so the more calls you book, the cheaper it usually gets. I think in the past I've paid anywhere between $100 and $200 or $250 for a 60-minute coaching session. But depending, you know, some people charge way more than that, even $300 or $500 an hour, especially when you get into more like professional business or career coaching, prices can be way more high up there. But I think for life coaching, anywhere between $100 or let's say $300 an hour, I think is absolutely fair. And this concludes my video about life coaching. I will put some recommendations of life coaches, of maybe friends of mine or whoever comes to mind later when I edit that video, below the video in the description box, so check that out for sure. And my question of the day for you is, what would you like to get coaching on? And also share your experience if you have worked with coaches before. Maybe you are a life coach and you want to share your experience, or you know, whatever I've talked about in this video, so please do. And if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. I'm already excited. I don't know what it's going to be about yet, but I'll figure it out. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Bye.